So I'm going to start recording. So welcome. I hope you're in the right place. This is exclusively for the accelerated medical program for high school students. So if you are in pre-med, you're applying for medical college, this is not the place. This is exclusively the Bsmd program. Okay, a little bit about me. I'm an independent educational consultant, and I'm a college planning coach and a counselor. My qualifications, I'm a Tony Robbins certified life coach. I'm a positive psychology coach, coaching ADHD children. I'm an executive functioning coach. I'm training under Peg Dawson, and I'm also working on my research paper thesis. God knows when I'm going to finish it. It's on Gen Z and productivity. Gen Z is our teens generation, kids who have been born after 1995, and what strategies can be used to make them productive. I'm also a certified meditation instructor. Trust me, it helps me with the college planning process. It's completely, entirely crazy. Everything changes overnight. And I've done my college counseling from UC Berkeley. Okay. So without further ado, let's get started. This is not a college planning webinar. I have done many college planning webinars, so please go to the YouTube and check out the webinar. This webinar is on top of the basic college planning. So you have the college planning that you need to follow regularly from your freshman year. So Bsmd planning webinar that I'm going to show you will go on top of it. So check out that webinar and other resources in my YouTube channel. There will be a lot of terms that I will be using here, like early decision. You will be able to find that on my YouTube channel, the explanation for that. Okay. Okay, so here is the agenda. So I'm going to introduce to you about the various programs that are out there. You'll find it interesting that there is also orthopedics, which a lot of students don't consider. It's a wonderful field, and I'm going to introduce that and what to consider, the different options, how to get in. How do you prepare your resume, your profile, and how do you prepare for this whole process, right? So let's get started. Okay, so let me start with the different paths that are out there. The first one is the traditional path, you do a 4-year undergraduate degree, then you take the exam Mcat. The national average is 520. Then you apply to a medical school. So that's a traditional 4-year program that you go to. The problem here is it's not guaranteed that you will get into a medical school. So that kind of uncertainty lies there. But then at 17, you can't expect a child to know whether they really want to be a doctor, right? It's long and an arduous journey. So that is the traditional path. Okay, next you have the early assurance programs. So what happens is they go into an undergrad school with the promise that after that sophomore year, they will have a chance to get into medical school. So it is in between the traditional program and the Bsmd program. So in the sophomore year, based on the basic requirements of their Mcat, they still need to, some colleges still need to write Mcat, but there is a 50% chance if you meet the requirement that you will go into medical school. Okay, so the thing is, in the high school, you don't apply for the medical school. Okay, so that is the difference. So this is the in-between, the early assurance program like Drexel. Also has this. There are many schools that have that. The way to build a college list is based on the student. So this is the early assurance program. So what are the advantages of the early assurance program? So for students who don't end up going into the Bsmd, they're not entirely sure that what they want to do. They want to see whether they're really inclined to it, right? So they get a good flavor of whether to get their feet wet. So only after the sophomore year is it decided whether they'll go to medical school or not. Okay, so they still have 2 extra years to determine what they want to do in their career. A lot of them, what they do is they like add on research and a lot of things that they can do. I will talk more about the colleges and everything. So in my UC Berkeley program, we had to create college report after college report. And that is what I do when I work with my students is whatever college list they have, we prepare a college report to see whether it's a liberal arts school, whether it is a research school. So it always helps to have all that information. Okay, so I'm going to go into deeper depth about the combined Bsmd program. Means, right, they are assured that like when they are applying and when they get accepted that they are going into the 8-year program. There is no backing out of this program once you get in. So basically what happens is when you're applying in your high school, you have the regular application through the Common App that you apply for the undergrad program. You also need to apply for the medical program. Okay, so it is BS and MD. So usually these schools are associated with another hospital and a medical school, and they give the combined program. For instance, Penn State, I'm familiar with Penn State because I'm in Pennsylvania. So they have this Penn State Emberley program. So with the Thomas Jefferson Hospital, they have that where it's a 8-year BSMD program. So it's not like you're going to study for medicine right from your first year, but you are assured that you are selected in school. Okay, and also a lot of schools have either MCAT or no MCAT. Some schools say, we don't care about your MCAT, you don't even have to take it. Some schools say we need a minimum MCAT score and GPA, but trust me, when you're in medical school, it's always a good idea to take MCAT because all your scholarships are tied to the MCAT scores, right? So for instance, it's like the PSAT in the junior year. So it always makes sense to get the MCAT scores. And if you're really a good student, I know MCAT is not a breeze, but it's an all right test to take if you really have gotten into the BSMD program. Okay, so I'm going to discuss about another option, which is the BSDO, is the osteopathy. That's a separate field on its own. And as parents, I would like you to look at this option as well, because sports medicine and everything is like a very, very hot field to be in. So osteopathy is another field that is up and coming, and it's equally popular like the BSMD program. Okay, but they do things differently. Their way of understanding, it's more the spine and the back and everything, but they are still, it is equivalent to an MD. So they do an undergrad degree, like it's like the BSMD program, except for its osteopathy. And the BSMD program is the allopathy, is what they call the modern medicine. And osteopathy has its own science where they learn about the osteopathic manipulative treatment and all that. And also you you do a specialty in that, like if you want to be a surgeon. Like for instance, even in allopathy, the BSMD, you get your MD and then you want to be a super specialty, you then do your residency and all that. So this is a path that you can also take, and it's quite lucrative. And the requirements for the BSDO program is not as crazy as the BSMD program. Okay, I'm not saying that average students or people should apply. Everybody should consider this as well. I mean, don't quote me, I'm not being judgmental, but I would say it is better than going into dentistry. I'm not putting that field down, but osteopathy is also a very good field of medicine that a student should consider as well. Okay, so basically this is more about osteopathy. And also I just want to bring in to you that the undergrad degree, what's so unique about our American system is You just don't need to do STEM. It's not like you need to have a Bachelor of Science degree, like a BS degree. Divya, how's my volume? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure.
Yes, sure. Yes, sure.
Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, so basically, they're licensed physicians. They're licensed surgeons as well. So osteopathy is also a wonderful field. It's like fast growing with all the sports and everything, right? So I know a lot because I have two boys and they keep breaking their fingers or their hands or their legs. I'm always there in Premier Orthopedics, the emergency place, right? So that's a good field to be in. So yeah, of the advantages I already stated that it's a little less competitive than the Bsmd, and I'm sorry, I missed that part, is you can have a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts. So this is something very interesting that I have to share, because in my research that I did, I was always under the impression that, hey, if you're a doctor, why would you take literature as your undergrad degree, right? So my lovely girl, Neha, she got into Drexel, and guess what she took? She took BAMD, because she's like, Auntie, I want to study literature and history. So she's doing a degree. She's going to get a BA, but she's in the assured program of BAMD. So this flavor is also a very good flavor that a lot of people. I'm sorry about that. It's good to consider the BAMD and the BSMD. Got it? So this is what I have covered so far. I've done the osteopathy, the traditional, the assured. Now I'm going to talk about the BSMD program, which is like you've taken a ticket on the train and there's no looking back. You have to get off at your station. Okay, there is no halfway in between. So that's what makes it extremely, extremely difficult and competitive. You know what the acceptance rate of this is? Can anybody type in? I would like to see what you think is the acceptance rate of a BSMD program. 10%, 12, 5, 1, yeah, 7, 5. It's actually 3. I'm very, very sorry. It's 3% acceptance rate. So you can understand how competitive it is, right? Because they really don't think that a high school student is ready to be in a medical program, right? So that's why they make it so competitive. It's 2.8% is the acceptance rate based on the medical school. Okay, and the Brown PLME is the best program in United States, and guess how much it costs? 650 grand for 8 years. Right, so that's the balance that you need to do. I had a parent who got admitted into the Brown program, but the daughter got a full ride into UNC undergrad program. So she was like weighing the options as to what it is that she wanted. So it varies from a child to child, right? So basically, in the program, it's actually a direct medical program. Now I'm addressing a direct, not accelerated. I will explain to you what accelerated is. Direct medical program is you apply for the medical college after high school. Okay, so there's 2 applications. Based on the school that you're applying, they either need a supplemental essay or they need a Casper test. There is an interview. So it's almost like an undergrad applying for a medical school, okay? But there's no Mcat. That's the only thing you don't have. You don't have the Mcat, but the requirements are almost similar to what they would expect from an undergrad school. So again, you have BSMD, you have BAMD. You can take arts. It's not like you're going to miss out on a lot of medical subjects because of your undergrad. Your undergrad, it's only 2 years that you'll really, only 2 years is what you really relate to the medicine, the program. The rest of it is either STEM or arts. And I read a lot of reviews. I did a report on Drexel. So I went through a lot of blogs and Reddit posts where I heard students saying they could have finished the whole program in 6 or 7 years. They just wasted 2 years doing something, but not related to medicine. And they were of the fact that colleges just want tuition for that. So that is what is the direct medical program, and which one doesn't need MCAT and everything. It's very college specific. It's a long list of colleges. So it's based on where you want to go. So based on where you want to go, we prepare the college list. And based on the college list, we look at their requirements and look at whether they need MCAT or not. So there's no blanket answer for all the schools. Okay. Okay, like I mentioned, you have the Bsmd and the Bamd. Okay, so here is a look at the accelerated program. So you have a 6-year accelerated program. This is very, very rare. They have almost gotten away with it. It's extremely rare that you have a 6-year accelerated program. 7 years is fairly popular. Right, and also 8-year is what is most of the direct MD program. They call them accelerated program, but they're still 8 years. Okay, and they give an option for students to finish it. Okay, they start off being 8th year, and it depends on how fast the students want to finish it. So this is what is the accelerated program. Okay. So any questions about the accelerated program? Yes, there are accelerated programs for BSDO as well, yes. Okay, so the first and foremost question that you need to ask is the Bsmd program right for your child? Okay, it's quite stressful. It's extremely competitive. And you also get locked into one school, right? So like Gen Z, the research that I have been doing with children of this generation is they need a lot of options, they need a lot of variety, and they need to be in control of their education. So they're very autonomous thinkers, right? So it's you have to be absolutely sure that you want to be a doctor. I mean, you're locked in. It's kind of unfair, in my opinion. It's a lot of pressure on children. I feel like it's an unnecessary amount of pressure that they have to go through to get into this program, right? There are benefits, but yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. So your child has to be 100% certain that they want a career in medicine. Okay, so I'm just not following any format. I apologize for that. I'm just speaking ahead. Okay, so the acceptance rates is fewer than 5%. It's somewhere in the 3%, 2.8 or 3%. And I'm going to go over like in greater detail, like in depth as to what your academics and everything has to look like. And this is on top of the generic college planning that you do. So the requirement is like unbelievable. In the sense you should be preparing to be a doctor from your womb. That's what I thought when I was reading the requirements for it. I'm like, whoever wants to get into this, right? So I have Christina. She was in my son's school in Downingtown. She got into Harvard undergrad, okay? But she didn't go. She went to Penn State. She picked Penn State because she wanted a sort of a guaranteed program, and she's from Columbia, exceptional student. She had 19 APs, okay, and she had every extracurricular that you could think of in her resume, right? She went and volunteered at the Paoli Hospital, and since she was Spanish, she used to tutor kids, like Spanish kids. So her resume was like stellar. I'm like, how is it remotely possible to recreate that, right? So that is what you're looking at, okay? Okay, so what makes a good applicant? Now I'm going to go break it down into, okay, I may have mixed up the orthopedics and the osteopathy. Got it. So I'm going to get to that. Okay, so these are the key ingredients. Okay, you need like a perfect recipe for success. It is academics. Okay, extracurriculars and recommendations, and I'm going to go over. And this is what my girl Neha said. Auntie, they're not going to look at personality. They're going to look at how good you are in your studies. Duh, she said. I'm like, okay, then why do you need extracurricular activities? She's like, no, you have to show your interest towards science and medicine and caring about people. So you need extracurricular activities. So that is, these are the key ingredients for that. And I'm going to go into greater depth. Okay, so when we come to academics, what are they looking for? They're looking for GPA and grades. Yes. 3.8 plus is your unweighted GPA. There is weighted and unweighted GPA. You can go to my Facebook group. I've posted about weighted and unweighted, and I'll be creating a video, a YouTube video on explaining what is weighted and unweighted GPA. Then there is class rank. Not all schools offer class rank, but Bsmd program looks for it. Okay. Okay, and they look at your AP and IB courses. Got it? I call it the golden rectangle, which I'm going to show you what courses need to be there. So these are the solid areas. They want to see course rigor. You should have taken the most rigorous courses that's available in your school, right? And fabulous GPAs, near perfect GPAs. Okay. So I'm going to drill down a little bit more on academics. Oh, what is going on? Okay, so the golden rectangle, the chemistry, math, physics, and biology. So typically you will have a freshman year. I'm just going to go over how I plan my students who come to me. So in the freshman year, they will not be allowed to take APs, or so they take honors bio. Okay, then they take AP Bio in 10th grade. Some schools don't even allow AP Bio in their 10th grade, so they take honors chemistry. So in the 11th grade, they take AP Bio Chem. Then they need a flavor of physics. Then you need AP Statistics, Calculus AB, Calculus BC. Although Christina told me that she wished she had not done AP statistics in the senior year and she had done it in the junior year or before, because she said calculus BC is required a lot in the undergrad, right? So she sort of forgot those concepts because she had taken statistics in the senior year. So you need that. Okay, and there are about 3 APs for physics. So you need to have loaded your course like your backpack. I mean, I call it the backpack, with good amount of it. And also AP Psychology is a wonderful course to take. Absolutely, if it's offered, just about take it. Okay, and languages are very important. Okay, they do like to see Spanish in your profile, right? But yeah, so this is like the golden rectangle that you need. No, IB high level is not equivalent to AP. No, IB is not considered college credit, only done by College Board. Okay, so I'm going to go deep into the grades and the rigor. You need a high GPA, right? Of course, course rigor, right from your, it depends. The Spanish requirement this is something that every parent asks me. It depends on the college. Like if you're applying to Harvard, Harvard needs 4 years of Spanish. So everything is based on your college list. Got it? So your course, everything is based on that. Your school may require 2 years of Spanish, but guess what? Bsmd programs, they don't want easy students who did minimum things. So if a student signs up for me, I would say take Spanish all 4 years. And I would, it's not like you have to take AP Spanish or something. You need to have a foreign language all 4 years. any top schools, the top 10, top 20 schools, like to see foreign language all 4 years, right? Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, your course selection, class rank, okay, and AP awards. You have a lot of scholar AP awards. Then there's Capstone Diploma. I don't know if Capstone Diploma is offered in all schools. Our school has it. It's a wonderful program. You need to do AP seminar, AP research, 4 APs, and should have scored more than 3 and above, and you get the Capstone Diploma. And they look at, no, middle school is not counted. Your clock starts ticking in the senior year. Okay, please forget about whatever has happened in the middle school. Your start line is freshman year. Okay, and to understand more about the college planning, please go over my webinar on college planning webinar, which will tell you in detail about the college planning series. This is sort of an advanced course. So the prerequisite is my other one. Okay, so colleges do look at the IB curriculum. They know how rigorous it is. Okay, a lot of kids in our school district, we have the regular traditional and the IB international baccalaureate. Tons of kids have gone from the IB schools to excellent medical schools. Okay, next we are going to come to the testing formula. This is the most misconception that people have, is during the coronavirus, they have made test optional. So the question arises, should I submit my scores? Absolutely. It's not test blind, it's test optional. So if you put your scores, they are going to look at it. Okay, and you are going to have a leg up in admissions. So absolutely give your testing, your test scores, right? It's extremely important. They are going to closely look at it. Okay, and then the other question arises about why the acceptance rate is dropping. See, the thing is, because they made it test optional, a lot of applicants who are not really qualified to apply are applying. So a college is getting more and more applications. So what happens if they get so many applications, right? So they're going to only accept so much. So that's why the acceptance rate is dropping. Got it? So the testing formula is PSAT, which is the National Merit Exam. Then you have the SAT or the ACT. But the biggest misconception that people have about PSAT is it's pre-SAT. No, it is a very, very important exam to qualify for the national merit. Okay, so a lot of scholarships are based on the PSAT score, not mostly your SAT and ACT, but PSAT. And the biggest problem is PSAT, you can take it only once in your junior year. Okay, so I suggest you hire the best tutor that is out there and like really prepare for your PSAT. Because SAT and ACT, you get more chances, but PSAT, you get only one chance, right? I struggle. I work with a lot of these tutoring institutes that these parents unknowingly sign up for, and the kind of demands that they put in. I mean, I don't know the name of it, but they clearly refuse. Oh, they signed up only for SAT. I was not supposed to teach them ACT, but ACT is the easier test. Okay, but the tutoring institutes don't tell you that because SAT takes more prep, more tuition. Right? So a lot of people ask me how much my tutors charge and everything. They charge quite a bit. I use them for my son. I made up all the money because of the scholarships he got. He went into the national merit. Even my students, one has just qualified for the PA and one will get into the national merit, and she's going to get good amount of scholarship that pay back for your tuition. So that's the beauty of it. Totally best investment, right? Oh, where was I? Sorry. Okay, so now I'm going to go the scores that are needed for the top Bsmd schools. Of course, to qualify for national merit, you need a 470 out of 1520. It's a different scoring. And also each state has a different rubric. You can go to my Facebook page. I have posted what are the requirements by state. For instance, Pennsylvania is 217, but New Jersey is extremely competitive. It's 222. And my student in New Jersey missed out by two points. She didn't qualify. Okay, and SAT, they need a score of 15, 30 and plus. And ACT, they need a score of 34. So my son did not score well in SAT. Most of my students struggle with SAT, but they do fantastic in ACT. Okay, now I'm going to come to extracurriculars. This is where you show you everything. I mean, yeah, grades are important, but extracurriculars, in my opinion, extracurriculars are what defines you, right? You can get good grades and go to any school, but to go to Bsmd, they're going to scrutinize your extracurriculars. Okay, so there are three things that you need to understand. It has to have that wow factor. One is volunteering, two is shadowing, three is research. Okay, so volunteering, you can go to the research clinics, you can go to nursing homes, hospice cares, hospitals. Okay, that's simple, right? Shadowing, yeah, I mean, they like to see shadowing. They like to see students having spent a good amount of time in a real medical office, right? The day-to-day activities and all. And the best place to ask is your pediatrician. And I know parents do a lot of asking around for the children. But the thing, what I would say is the students need to call their pediatrician and say, oh, please, you took care of me. You gave me shot right for my birth. Can I please shadow you? A pediatrician will do that. Okay, I see a lot of times parents doing the asking for their children. But my student's neighbor was a dentist, and she caught up shadowing with the dentist. Dentistry is also okay because it's medicinal, right? Or chiropractor or physician or anybody. I know it's extremely hard during, I mean, in-person shadowing is hard, but my students, I have a lot of resources for virtual shadowing. So my students do a lot of virtual shadowing. They see the videos and then they answer a test or something and they get credits for that. Okay, and research. Research is also something that is extremely important, that like sets you apart from the other students. So what is research? You can write a paper, publish it. Your research is valid only if you've done a scientific hypothesis and investigation. And listen to this, it has to be peer reviewed by an expert, right? So that is what I offer. I had a problem because my students couldn't get shadowing, volunteering in person, right? So how do you show in your resume that you made use of your time during coronavirus? You were not playing video games or wasting your time, right? Research. So I had a head of the department and they have been doing research. And in summer, I have a professor. He's from South Florida. He teaches in a medical school. He teaches MDs and PhD students, and we're going to run a research program exclusively for high school students. So if you're interested, make sure you fill in the feedback form. It has everything. I'm sorry, Divya, do share the feedback form where all the information will be there. So we will be doing that. So research is one of the things that we are building. So my first pilot research program, I have 20 people. We've been writing wonderful papers on psychology, on Alzheimer's. And I had one student who did research on, you know, the liquid that they put in your eyes when you go to test and it totally blinds you. So he was trying to do research. Yeah, we have research in summer. Yes, it's coming up. We're creating the program. Yes. And the best part of research is it'll be peer reviewed and published on my webpage. Because you know what? Research papers need to be searchable. Okay, it's not enough if it's in the disk of your computer or in your email. It has to be searchable. So my students' research papers are going on my webpage. Instead of random blogs, it's my students putting their research paper there. So anybody who Googles it will be able to come and see their research paper. So this is something unique that I offer. Okay, so the type of research that a student can do for BSMD program is publish a paper. That's what I offer, which is peer reviewed by an expert. Okay, so it has to be peer reviewed. It has to have a plagiarism check because we need to give credit to the resources that they've read. So it also helps them build their knowledge. So my students learned so much in the process of doing research. It was mind blowing. Right, I have a kid who's doing a research on CTE or that brain injury during doing football. They had to read 10 papers, right? So you don't need any reading comprehension problem. It's going to help them with their SAT exam. Okay, especially the ACT has a science section, which is fully statistic, probability, and everything. My students said, oh, wow, the research paper like really helped with the test, because it's about reading statistics and answering the questions. And in the research, they have to learn about scientific inquiry, like learn about what method they're going to use and everything. So that's a wonderful effort. And also you can do research in labs, clinics, and hospitals. But my students have not been getting any opportunity because of Corona. Universities, researchers, everybody, there is no in-person thing. So how do you fill the void, right? How do you make your resume attractive? Okay, so next up, we have the essays. Essays, that's another very, very critical essays. And here I'm not addressing the personal statement about it. It's like the basic thing. It is like the Common App that you have to submit. It's in my other webinar, how to write a good Common App essay. This we are going to talk about supplemental essay. So what happens in a Common App is you have the generic place where you put in your grades, you put in your teacher recommendations, you put in your extracurricular activities and everything. Okay, and then when you pick your college, whatever supplemental essays they have will show up, and you need to start writing them. Okay, so a BSMD specific supplemental essay is always about why medicine? Why do you want to do medicine? Okay, and then it will be so unique about their program that they'll ask, why do you want to join Brown's BSMD program? Or Case Western will ask you, why do you want to get into this accelerated program or something like that, right? So that is the kind of essay. So their essay has to be more medicinal, not medicinal, more caring, more empathetic, and science related. And guess what? The research paper that they write, they can use that as their supplemental essay, like describe it in greater detail. So there's two places that the research paper goes is. One is an extracurricular activity, and two, the details go in the supplemental essays. Okay, and also a lot of schools have two applications. One is the generic undergrad application. So the medical school, they'll have another portal. Sometimes what they'll do is, this is all very, very college specific. Let me tell you one thing, there is no uniformity among colleges here at all, which is so frustrating. Okay, so each college will have its own kind of way of applying. So some colleges may say, hey, just apply for the undergrad. If you get selected or we even remotely like you, then we will send you the link and the details to apply for the medical program later. And that might be a separate link, or they'll need a Casper test, or they will ask you a bunch of questions, psychological questions. Each college is different. Okay, so I don't have a single answer. I work with my student, work on the college list. I can't tell you how important a college list is, which I'm going to go over. So those are some of the things. Okay, and recommendations. Yes, they can apply for BSMD and pre-med. I'll go over it. It's called, when we create a college list, we do that. And recommendations. Okay, it's not just inside recommendations, your teachers and counselors. Outside recommendations also work. You worked with a research professor or somebody, or you did like a teeny project and they give you recommendation. That's also very nice that you can show in your this one. Okay, so there is a lot of planning with recommendations. Okay, it is quality versus quantity. Okay, recommendations are, oh, he's just good. That has no value. A recommendation has to be very, very deep. It has to speak about your maturity. It has to speak about your intellectual curiosity. It has to talk about your helpfulness in classroom, your determination to succeed, your leadership skills, extremely important. So teacher relationship is very important, and counselor is the god in high school. Okay, so the counselor to student ratio is like 1:400, right? They're overloaded. Public schools are overloaded. So how is it that you establish a relationship with your counselors, right? So that is the thing, right? That is very important. Okay, another thing that they look for is leadership. Okay, it's not like you have to be the greatest public speaker or a debater or an extreme extrovert. That is not what is required. But you need to have exceptional communication skills, mental toughness, and ambition. Okay, because it's like so wide world. This field is so vast that you need to absolutely have the skill. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the direct medical interview. Like I mentioned, okay, I've gone over, I've taken you through the journey of, okay, your child has finished the first phase, has okay with the undergrad phase. Now they've gotten to the point where the college feels like, okay, let's check this student out. So only 10% of the applicants get into an interview. So that means you're like really exceptional. You are guaranteed, but still you cannot like think that it's going to be a breeze. Okay, so you've got to get your story right. I do run public speaking classes and communication classes over summer. Like Toastmasters is a different program. I teach a lot of confidence building and Tony Robbins style communication skills. I will be publishing them during summer. Okay, so the common questions that they ask in a Bsmd interview is, yeah, I know, Divya, I have 2 minutes. I know. Thank you, Divya. I just go on and on and on, right? Yeah. Okay, so the common questions for the Bsmd program is, tell me about yourself. Why do you want to be a doctor? What has been your previous experience in like the medical field, and what are your interests, and everything is a common questions that they ask. So how do you apply for the Bsmd program, right? Of course, you have Common App. You have Common App and Coalition, but Common App is the most common one that all students use. So all colleges do that. Okay, and somebody asked me about the college list, pre-med, Bsmd. So you need to have the perfect college list. You need to apply for reaches. Reaches are the IVs or the top schools that you want to apply. Then you need to have matches. Someone, can you please mute yourself? Or it's a little, hold on a second. Let me just mute everybody. Yeah, I have muted everybody. I apologize. Okay, so you need to have a perfect college list, a good blend. Okay, typically any other counselor would say 10 colleges, 3 reach, 3 match, 3 safety. I just put 20. Okay, it should be a proper blend. So like somebody asked me whether it's Bsmd or just the pre-med, you can have everything in it, and safeties are absolutely important. So that is the way I work with a college list. And once you zero in on your college list, you go into the college and you look at what their requirements are. Like I prepare a college report, get all the details that they need, and then we build a profile based on that. Okay, so what is the timeline? Basically, there is all the early decision and everything. I have a video on early decision and early action and everything in my YouTube video. There is early action, there is restricted early action, there's early decision 1, there's early decision 2. So based on the school that you want to apply to, you have to keep these timelines and go for it. Okay, so finally, I'm just going to wrap up so that I can address your questions. Is the Bsmd program right for you? Right? So these are the advantages and disadvantages. the thing is, you don't have to go through the process of applying to a medical school, right? You have the peace of mind. You can focus on other research and everything, right? And some cases MCAT may be necessary, some cases MCAT may not be necessary. I don't have the list of colleges. There are so many colleges, so many of them have different requirements. Okay, and also it saves time. Like some of them you can also accelerate because of the time in that. And you have access to unique opportunities. So the schools that which are reaches have like very good research opportunity. Like for example, Penn State has 865 million in research endowments. The kind of research opportunities and projects that are there are like simply mind-blowing, right? So that is one of the advantage. The other, the disadvantages are it's extremely hard to even apply. Applying for the thing is extremely hard and a long, arduous journey. And it's sometimes very hard to keep up with the graduation requirements. In Penn State, if you don't meet a certain GPA and MCAT score, poof, you're dropped out of the program and you have to go do the pre-med or the undergraduate. And also it's a longer application process, right? I mentioned that undergrad and medical also, and then it's fairly expensive. Got it? So questions, we're going to start addressing the questions. Okay, and I just want to quickly offer my coaching services. I do college planning for high schoolers. I also have a la carte programs. I'm going to have an essay bootcamp in summer. Divya, please share the review, okay? The feedback form. I mean, if you submit the feedback form, I will be sending you the college list and everything. So I'm just going to quickly share it here. Hold on a second. Okay, so I offer different services. I have a fantastic tutor who does essays. She's going to have an essay bootcamp, and trust me, your children need that. Otherwise, they won't start without a direction. It's really hard to write a 650 page essay. Then a common app review we do, because that's important. Like filling up the common app is very, very important. And the senior year counseling, I offer summer programs for all ages. There is public speaking. I'm introducing an AI course. There's going to be Java programming. Yeah, research is an a la carte that I do. It's not, I need to have a professor for research. So it's based on him, on the person that I get in. Get it? So that's the reason I'm not put it there, but I will offer it a la carte. When a professor is available, boom, I will offer it. That's what happened. It was middle of the year. A lot of students could not come to the research program, but the head of the department was available only at, of course, a 9th grade grader can absolutely join. Fantastic. I had great students there. Of course, I do academic coaching. I help students with study skills and everything. I'm an executive functioning coach, public speaking, communication, everything. I'm going to offer summer programs. Even if I don't do it, I get the best tutors to offer those programs. And of course, my college planning is something that a lot of students avail. Okay. So these are my contact info. I'm on the best place to get all information is Pioneer Parents, okay, the Facebook group. I also post constantly on Instagram, Teen Successology, and my YouTube channel. You will find a lot of information on the college planning process. Every week I release a video. I mean, it's not just on the Bsmd program. There are different majors that, that I will do that. Yeah. I'm going to address all the questions that Divya. So, yeah, Divya, where is the? Yeah, Divya's accumulated all the questions. Yes. Okay, fantastic. Osteopathy and orthopedics. Yeah, I may have mixed up that. I'll get back to you. Like I addressed the Spanish, middle school doesn't count. So it's important that you start in the freshman year. If Spanish 1 is done during 4 years, yeah, there is AP Spanish also. right? Where can we find? I am going to send you the Bsmd list. What pre-SCAT, okay, the PSAT score, it's based on your state, right? So if you go to my Facebook group and go to the guides section, I have posted it per state, what is the cutoff. My child has done 2 years of language and is not interested in it, but is playing tennis all 4 years. You have to go and look at the school, what they say. If the school says 4 years of Spanish, then it has to have 4 years of Spanish. Okay, merit scholarship is 2,500 only for citizens. Please, the scholarships are only for citizens, not even permanent residents. Okay. With COVID, most of the volunteering programs are canceled. We know that, but there are virtual volunteering. My students are doing them, right? You can tutor online. My students do them. Yep. And who hasn't been in any? Yes, in summer, like I mentioned, I have a professor coming up. I will share the details. So make sure you're on my email list, and the Facebook group is the best place to get all the information. I've heard something about passion project. Could you explain it more, and how do they stand out in college admissions along with our extra? So what is the passion project about? Does it relate to science? Does it relate to medicine? Have you done experiments in it? What proof do you have to show? What have you done concretely, right? So how have you shown the passion project? A lot of colleges even ask for proof of the number of hours you spent volunteering in a specific place. So you need to have concrete results for your passion project. So what is it, right? Can research be done in the senior? Absolutely. Can student try for Bsmd and Pmat? Absolutely. Your college list, based on that, you can blend it and you can totally do it. How do we? Oh yeah, you can establish a relationship virtually. Yeah, keep in touch with your teacher, answer questions, raise your hand and ask questions. The biggest problem that I speak to my students' teachers is they don't turn on the camera, or they are like half there and they don't participate. No, you can still show yourself in a virtual class and participate, right? Toastmasters, I'm not a very big fan of the program, I'm sorry. I have my own program. I incorporate a lot of Tony Robbins confidence building, all that stuff. Shadowing, volunteering, research. It's not 3 lines. You have 10 lines in extracurriculars. So you need to show yourself right from the freshman year. Okay, you need to start working on your profile right from your freshman year. So yeah, you can check out the webinar that I have on college planning that goes into greater depths into what are the extracurriculars that are there. So yeah, so for shadowing, I have a student, Samrita. So what she does, she rides the ambulance, EMS. So that is her her thing. Then she has a doctor that she shadows. She shadows a dentist. Okay, I have another student who shadows a psychiatrist, right? And some parents don't. I mean, some patients he doesn't do that, but he does that. So you have so many things there, right? A lot of options. Tuition fee more, it depends on the school again, right? To accept associated degrees offered by high school, that depends on the specific college and the program. So I don't have a generic answer about the associate degree. It might add value to their resume. Definitely anything a student has done that is above average is definitely a good idea. Yeah, I will be sharing the webinar, and please fill out the feedback form. I'm going to share this link to people who submit the feedback form. Okay, what if has no honors, regular? Yeah, do APs, right? So the thing, okay, the question that you ask about the courses and classes, how the application officer knows, is when your high school counselor sends a school report. So in the school report, he'll mention about the courses, the rigor of the school, and how your student rigor matched with the school. You understand? So that is something that is extremely critical, right? So your counselor, when they write the report, that is what the application officer is going to look for. If the counselor says, oh, our school offers only 2 APs, and this student did 2 and he went to the community college and did it. So it's an exceptional student. So that's what they're going to look for, the application. Or they say there is 2 and he did 0. That is another thing, right? Yeah, the copy of the presentation is given to people who submit the feedback. Yeah, research, like I mentioned, it's an ad hoc kind of a thing that I do whenever I can get a professor. Yes, I have many 9th grade students in my research program. Yes, we can start in the 11th grade. And anybody who wants to sign up with me can schedule a call with me on the Calendly. Okay, if you have any more questions, I always have my Facebook group where you can ask. If you want to sign up for my program and need more details about my program, I've given you the Calendly link to schedule a time to check where your student is and if you want to sign up. Okay, where did I miss out on? Okay. 9th grade absolutely can take SAT, ACT test if the score is good, very good. Okay, I'm just quickly going to it. Yeah. So Ramu, can you please schedule a call on my Calendly app? Okay, can plan out college. Of course, 9th grade, I start college counseling in the freshman year. Absolutely, right? I do a lot of strengths and weaknesses analysis, and we get to that. I filled out the form. Yes. Is French not considered? French is also considered a foreign language. Yes, I'm sorry if I said Spanish alone. Yes, foreign language. Let me tell you a secret. Colleges like to see one foreign language having taken it. They want to see progression. This is the secret of colleges. And this is what I was taught in UC Berkeley. I watched so many videos which shadowed application officers and what they look for in a college app, common app. College application is they want to see a student sticking with it and progressing. So it's a good idea to take one foreign subject and to go along with it. And of course, let me tell you, children are like, oh, I don't like language. I only want to do 2. No, please guide your children. And also a lot of parents say, oh, I don't want to be a pushy parent. I don't want to push my children. Please push them. If you don't push them, is your neighbor going to push them? No. Gen Z, I do research. I read a lot of research papers. I know how they think. They are 2 times or more intelligent. This generation, Gen Z, is more intelligent than the millennials. The way they absorb information is quick. Okay, they can absorb information like anything. They can do it. Okay, so yeah. French class is okay, yeah. Can you read out the question? Yes, I'll read out. If the PSAT is taken in the fall of the junior year and SAT is taken in the spring. Yeah, of course. So yeah. See, the PSAT is taken in the junior year, October. And you can take SAT anytime. And most of the students take tests multiple times to get a better score. You need to have a good score before you apply in November. November 1st is early decision, so you need to have your scores. I'm sorry, Vani, all languages count. I just assumed Spanish. I apologize. Yeah, there are many scholarships which are merit-based. Again, I created a video on merit-based and need-based scholarship. It has gone to my editor in India. He's editing it. Once it comes, I'll be posting it. Wait for the YouTube channel where I explain the different scholarships, need-based and merit-based. So most of us don't qualify for need-based because our income is quite high. So there is merit-based. And I've explained how you can go about it. And there was one scholarship opportunity that I put up in my Facebook page, which is a financial literacy. So you have to keep looking for scholarships. It's instead of looking for one huge chunk famous scholarship that everybody's going to apply, look for smaller scholarships, right? That's how like within your school also there are a lot of scholarships. So yeah, our school has honors, internship opportunities in senior school. There is an internship with local hospital. Is it good to take that? But this where half a day will be gone. And yeah, absolutely. If there is an internship taken, please take it. Don't worry about your child. I mean, our generation is sort of different. We just worry too much. We are a worrying generation. We just worry about small details. Please, if there is an opportunity like that, absolutely apply for it. Like Downingtown has an allied medical program where half day the seniors go to hospital. That's fantastic. That helped Christina get into an accelerated program. Internship programs are where you go and work in a place where you get like real work experience. I did have an internship program in my company, and I may or may not offer it this year. So keep like that's something that I offer in summer. In Bsmd program, can students still study healthcare? Yes, there are majors that you can pick. Yeah, in your undergrad you can pick, and also like a lot of medical administrators, you can go into that line also. Like after your MD program, they are looking for such people. That's an excellent question, the business side of it. That is also the hospital management and all that. There are a lot of, I know a few people who have done the MD program and then done an MBA. Right, they are like hot commodity, right? Yes, so you can pursue, you can do it as a minor in your undergrad, and if it's something that you're pursuing, instead of doing a super specialty residency, I know a lot of students who go do their MBA. Can student play a sport in undergrad part of Bsmd? Absolutely, sport is essential, and let me tell you, Bsmd programs look at extracurriculars that are external to science and thing also, like music and sports and everything. Can ninth grade, yes, can take SAT, ACT, absolutely. Internship, yes. Yeah, paid. What is paid research? Any research, like I said, it has a thesis. If they've written a paper or anything that can be validated and peer reviewed is accepted as a research. How do you decide how many BSD? Oh yeah, so that is depending on what is it a reach? Is it a safety? Is it a match? Right? So those are some of the things. Yeah, I did record, Amuda. Okay. How can I schedule a call? Yeah, I have the Calendly link to schedule a call with me. I'm just going to give you that. Yeah. Okay. Is there a safety school? We need to dig deeper. It's not a generic question. A safety school may be in Alabama. Are you willing to go to Alabama? You may be in Pennsylvania, right? So that is something that you need to look at very, very deeply, right? A college list is something that's very unique to a student, and I spend like hours and hours with a student, right? I mean, I wouldn't say 4 years, it's 8 years here. 8 years they're going to spend in a campus. So they have to be absolutely sure as to what kind of campus they want. I had a student who really wanted to go into this Bsmd program in Syracuse. He had made all kinds of plans. But when he went to campus, he was like, oh my God, this place is so depressing. This place is so sort of cold. I don't want that. So do you need 4 years of fine arts? It depends again on the college, right? What is the requirement, like graduation requirement in your school is another question that you can ask. Yeah, and Hansika, you have a question, you raised your hand, you can unmute yourself and ask. Hansika, I think I missed her. Thank you. Appreciate it. Where would be a place where a freshman or higher would be able to virtually shadow doctors or hospitals this year? Pranita. Okay. Okay. I did send you a link, Pranita. Okay, Sudha Mehta. You can unmute yourself and ask the question. Sudha?
Yes. Hi, Joe. I have one question.
Mhm. Yeah, go ahead.
My daughter, she is going to graduate in 11th grade after 11. She's not going to do 12th grade senior. So is it a good idea for her to graduate after 11?
Did she meet all the requirements?
Yes, she has all, like she's going to have 27 credit and she took almost Most of them are APs classes and she met all the requirement.
Okay, so there is no restriction on that. Okay, so now the question arises, what is her college list? What does she want to do?
She wants to do neuroscience. She wants to be neurologist.
Mm-hmm.
So she has chosen some this Bsmd colleges like Browns and one couple of more, I don't remember, but she has chosen good colleges, you know.
Okay. So how is her extracurriculars? What has she contributed in her 3 years towards volunteering?
Yeah, so
leadership?
she does volunteer in children hospitals, and she has sports, like she does a competitive swimming and some competitive
Fantastic.
music. She does piano, like a competitive, all those
Okay.
things.
Okay, so Sudha, what is your question again?
So my question is it a good idea for her to graduate after 11th?
It depends on the student, right? Like I tell you, in the college process, there is no a good or bad answer. It's based on what the student wants to do, right?
Okay, so it doesn't affect the colleges if she apply after 11.
No, it doesn't apply. It doesn't affect.
Okay, thank you,
If
Jo.
you met the requirement, you don't need. Okay, Vijay, the virtual shadowing volunteering is for my students who've signed up for college counseling with me. Okay. Yeah. How does creating an organization you're passionate about look for colleges? If you're saying opening a nonprofit, I mean, what impact have you done to the community? What concrete impact can you show? Is it healthcare related? Is it something to do with medicine? Right? So those are some of the things that they look at, right? A lot of parents think that starting a nonprofit will get them, will look good on an extracurricular activity, but actually you need to show impact, uniqueness. So yeah, there is something that I talk about extracurricular activities in great detail in my webinar. If you can just look through, and if you go through the middle section, I have a screen where I show what an extracurricular activity needs to look like. So that will be a good reference for you. Yeah. Is residency requirements the same as, yes, the resident, I mean, the Bsmd program is a medical program. So, and yeah, Mcat is not needed. No, that's not a correct statement. Mcat may or may not be needed based on the college. Okay, like Penn State needs Mcat to stay in the program, right? Some of them don't need. GPA and Mcat. I know a lot of students who didn't meet the Mcat requirements or the GPA, and they dropped down to a regular undergrad. Do credits from associate from high school to Bsmd? Again, you need to, Chaitali, you need to look at the school and what counts as an associate degree, right? The good, I mean, okay, MCAT score, the national average is 520, I think. I'm not very sure, don't quote me on that. Some schools say to remain in the program, you need to be 517. So there is no advantage or disadvantage to applying to a school with or without MCAT, right? Getting into Bsmd is a challenge. So I would say MCAT, writing MCAT as the lead is a lesser of the evil, right? So if you are in such a competitive program, you will push yourself to do the MCAT. Yeah, varsity sports also is something that is also there. So again, you need to look closely at what the school requires and their sports and everything, right? I wouldn't say the best pre-med program. So there was a very interesting discussion on my Facebook page. And Manish Arora mentioned that a lot of students, what they do is they don't go to the best school for pre-med. They go to an average school, but they score very, very well. do exceptional extracurricular activities, save up nicely, get their MCAT, and go to a good med school. You get it? So if you are in an undergrad pre-med, it's going to be extremely competitive to get into a medical school, right? So that's the way I would look at it, but it's the preference, right? So yeah. Yes, a law. I just created a video on law and pre-law. Yes. And also please answer the webinar. I'm going to create a lot of online courses that will have like accountability worksheets, which will help you plan your high school for the major that you want to go to. So I created something on dentistry, law, architecture, everything, right? So I need to investigate on the Medical School of Georgia. So what I do is I create a college report. So my UC Berkeley has given me a template. So based on that template, I go and I fill out everything. And I'm going to quickly show you a college report that I have prepared. So it's a lot of deep dive that you need to do. So the question that you're asking me is a 10-page report that I create. Right, so that's obviously going to be tough. Yes, I'll explain about the virtual programming. Yeah. So I'm going to quickly show you my report that I prepared yeah. So I picked Drexel, Penn, UPenn, and Johns Hopkins because most of my students were doing that. So this is the Drexel's Bsmd program. I have this college template that I use. I go over the testing requirement. If you see 2.8% got admitted, they had 2,300 applicants, 65 got admitted. College counseling, Maya, you will need to schedule a call with me to go over. I don't because it's based on which year your student is. Okay, and if you see only 600, okay, sorry, 65 were admitted. If you see 125, okay, let's start here. So 229 students applied. 600 students met the requirement. 125 students were called for the interview, 65 students were taken in. Okay, now Drexel is both a research university and a liberal arts. Okay, that's something that you need to look at because if you are very keen on research. And if you see here, Drexel needs a minimum score of 513 to be in the program, the Mcat. So these are the different programs that they have, and it's a rigorous school. Okay, and then this is a student who I did research and found out that he was actually upset that it took 8 years. He couldn't accelerate. He could have finished it off quicker. So this is the kind of report that I do on schools. So like just asking if the school is good or not takes a lot. Like the financial policy is it offers merit. It doesn't give you full aid. Right, so these are all the kind of statistics that I gather, and this is the application process. So these are the details. They need all these things, like I mentioned, the extracurriculars, the coursework. They need the transcripts, letters of recommendation, standardized tests, and this is what a student mentioned about. Yeah, the program is very good. So this is the depth at which you need to look at. Yeah, so how does virtual shadowing work? Okay, good. So the thing about virtual shadowing is there are many institutions and places where you can go and enroll. You can watch the doctor like doing surgery or whatever, and then they ask you a bunch of questions that you can answer. And then you get credit for it, and it's counted as an extracurricular activity. Okay. So that is how virtual shadowing works. Any other questions? Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly send you all the links again. Yes, 9th and 10th grade. Yes, Ritesh, virtual shadowing can be done. So Yeah, I have given you all the links. So any other new questions? Otherwise, we will end the meeting and give you guys your evening back. Yeah, honors classes in high school are very good. Yes, you have the regular, the honors, the AP courses. Yeah, absolutely. Take the honors course. Yep. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah. Divya, how are you? How are we doing on time? Did I miss out on any questions?
Amazing, Joe. I don't think we missed any. I'm just quickly going through all the questions.
No problem. Yes, they can switch from the Bsmd, I think. Yeah, it depends again on the school. Okay, so there is no generic answer. I'm not very sure whether Bsmd, you're locked into that program, right? So it depends on the college, whether they can transfer to another college or not. So I don't have an answer for that. It is based on where you live, what college you're applying for, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, then I'm going to end yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I will be announcing them on Facebook and on the email list. I hope, yeah. The thing is, you've signed up for this program, right? So I have your email list. I will be sending it across, and I share it on my Facebook group. So it's a good idea. Absolutely. Yeah. Any professor, anything. It does not only have to be a paid, it can be unpaid, it can be anything, right? Like analyzing data for the professor, building their website, like just about anything. Use your time. Like if something is better than nothing, in my opinion, right? There are so many places where you can do online tutoring. All my students are all like, there is no wastage of time. They have some activity or the other going, right? They tutor online, math or science, like to a nonprofit. I have my own nonprofit, by the way, which I conduct a lot of programs. Basically, my students conduct a lot of programs. Like it can even be a card writing for senior citizens. That's what I did over Christmas. That is a wonderful thing. You write cards, you and your friends gather together, write cards and mail it to the hospice care, right? So absolutely. I mean, do something, right? So I have a student who is in the STEM field who's going to, wonderful, who is going to conduct a hackathon from my nonprofit. So that looks good on his resume. I have another girl who loves poetry. She's going to conduct poetry through the nonprofit. Yes, I do recommend summer camps. It depends on what the student likes and what they are applying for, right? Yep. Okay, then I'll let you guys all go. Thank you for joining in. I hope it was informative because I just love doing research. I mean, this is a passion for me, guiding students. So I get a lot of information, and this information is not something that you can easily Google or find out. It takes in a huge network of independent educational consultants and like a lot of materials that we as college counselors have access to. Okay. Okay. Until then, until my next webinar, I don't know what it's going to be. Have a good one. Please join my group, contribute. If you have something to share, please do help out another parent, spread the word about Pioneer Parents, right? We want to be sharing information. When my son was applying to college, there's nobody to guide me. I was completely clueless, right? So we don't want to be like that. We want to support people. If we have any information, we share, right? So please spread the word, join my group, ask any question you have. There are people who will answer, right? There were very good questions. Somebody wanted to know whether Rochester was good for the undergraduate program, right? Wanted to know if Washington University in St. Louis was good. So somebody or the other will answer your question and you will learn in the process, right? So that's why we are here for, is to empower parents, right? So I'm going to let you go. I'll see you virtually shortly. Take care. Early acceptance program is EAP.